is Assassin's Creed Shadows going to save Ubisoft? That's the big question. Of course, the game comes out this week, and they need it to be good, because in the last 5 years, their stock went down 77%. It was like at the height around the launch of Valhalla, which was the last like huge hit they had. After that, it has gone down, down, down. Mirage was the other title that was successful, but all the other games in between, the Skull and Boneses, X-Deviant, Riders Republic, Far Cry 6 even to a degree, Avatar, Star Wars Outlaws, Prince of Persia Lost Crown, all under-delivered, Mario and Rabbids, the sequel. So yeah, they need Shadows to be good, but will that happen? It seems that Ubisoft already knows that it won't be enough to save them, because behind the scenes, they're already working on some significant changes. So if we quickly look at the Shadows performance right now, it's in the 9th top seller and a 42 wishlist. This is not really good, to be fair, because I've seen for other big games, Monster Hunter is maybe not the best example, that game is huge, but there were some, like I think Kingdom Come as well. These titles were already in the top like 5 for a couple of weeks before they came out. Shadows, but again, like maybe with good word of mouth, the reviews at the time of this recording have not dropped yet. If they are good, they're dropping on March 18th. That might spike the interest and people will be like, what the heck? But the game is also Steam Deck verified. Ubisoft is at least trying to do everything to get people on board with the Steam version. Of course, this is also the first game that they are launching day one on Steam in forever. So that's a big deal. Also on the PlayStation Store, it's the number 4 in my country. But yes, Split Fiction is right now selling more. And yeah, Fortnite. So that's pretty good. That's actually pretty good. Outpacing Call of Duty and Rocket League. I think that's pretty good. So let's see how it, of course, goes overall. But like I said, and that's what VGC is saying here as well, is Shadows a little too late? Because Ubisoft is reportedly looking for big money backers to fund a spin-off of some of its biggest IP. So what is happening actually right now is this. They're seemingly looking for financial backers in a new business entity, which will make use of some of the biggest IPs like Assassin's Creed and others. This information comes from a Bloomberg report written from details from sources familiar with the situation. Of course, Bloomberg, we can trust these people. They know what's up. So let's read on, and then I will kind of explain what I think is happening here and what it might mean. Bloomberg claims that the French gaming giant is apparently looking for bids for this new venture to be made as soon as the end of the month. These bids would be for a minority stake, and one of the parties reportedly at the table for this whole affair is Tencent. Not a surprise, because Tencent already owns 9.99% ownership of Ubisoft. They even like own a lot of the holding from the Guillemot brothers that is also involved with Ubisoft. They already have their hands kind of in it, but they have no control. Like, they are in it to hopefully get some like control later on. It seemed like a long-term investment, and now with Ubisoft vulnerable, they might swoop in to get more, and that's kind of what might be happening here. So Bloomberg, the writers there, report that Ubisoft may be seeking a valuation of this new IP offshoot business that is higher than the size of the main companies, according to their sources. So basically, what seems to be happening is that we have Ubisoft, and they're now trying to spin off into a brand new company and send all their most valuable IPs to that. Because the reality is, Assassin's Creed, Rainbow Six, maybe Far Cry, Ghost Recon, they have a new game coming for that. Like maybe Division, although I think that something might happen with that. So these franchises, if they were just making those, they would be profitable and likely doing pretty well. But because Ubisoft also has Skull and Bones and all these other projects in development and Beyond Good and Evil 2, that they already put hundreds of millions in and that are still far from being done. They have no clear focus basically, and they're putting all their efforts into projects that will likely never turn a profit. It's only hurting them. So then when an Assassin's Creed or when Rainbow Six makes a ton of money, the profit is not there because they put all that money in projects that don't really work out. So what seems to be happening here is that by dividing these two, they have the powerhouse, so the franchise that will make money in just one company, and then Ubisoft is stuck with the rest. And what might happen with the rest of Ubisoft is they're seemingly looking to sell off these IPs. Maybe to Microsoft or EA, that's the rumor at least. Which is kind of wild. So, yeah, they've already seemingly discussed IP sales with both Microsoft and EA. I'm really curious what they kind of want. Again, some IPs are not for sale. Assassin's Creed, Rainbow Six, probably not for sale. I don't think Far Cry is for sale either. But yeah, they have games in development for Ghost Recon. They have the Division 3 in development. The Splinter Cell remake. Maybe they are like, yo, do you want to buy Splinter Cell? This is the roadmap that we have planned. You get the studio as well that is working on it. Like, it's kind of hard because Ubisoft has a lot of different teams working on one project. So just buying the IP, do you then also get like parts of these studios? Will they keep working on it? Will they finish what they've been doing? And then after that, Microsoft lets their teams work on Splinter Cell or something. And also EA, I'm like looking at EA, I'm like they are really focused on live services. Are they like looking into Just Dance? Maybe they can like get that. Let's look at the IPs that Ubisoft kind of has. So they had this image once, which was kind of like a look. Like during the time that Ubisoft was not really doing well, they had to convince shareholders that they were still valuable because they have, like that's the big thing that Ubisoft has going for them. They made a lot of IPs themselves that then became successful. Well, if you look at Take-Two, yeah, Grand Theft Auto, they're doing it with Rockstar. Red Dead Redemption, they're doing it with Rockstar. NBA 2K, they don't own that, obviously. Borderlands, now they do own Gearbox, so yeah, they do own it now. And Mafia. Star Wars Battlefront, of course, that's not from them. Madden. So basically, Ubisoft is saying, yo, we have all these franchises. We can do whatever we want. When we sell a game, we make all the profit. We don't have to share it with a Disney or with another company. And that is very beneficial. But the problem now is that basically almost all these franchises, apart from Rainbow Six, are doing not as good as they once were. And that is kind of the issue. They have so many valuable IPs, but they just cannot get them off the ground. And I am curious though, like a Watch Dogs, like getting that IP, I really don't know where you would start with that. Maybe do like a remake of 1 and make it like way more linear or something, but is there an audience for that? I don't know. I think Division has like a big chance of actually still being something, but yeah, then you need to buy Ubisoft Massive as well. They're in Sweden. That's an expensive area. Do people want to get into bed with that? They of course did Outlaws and Avatar that did not do well. For Honor, I mean, I don't think anyone cares, although it's making a profit. The Crew, now Microsoft would not want that because they want to have Forza Horizon. Maybe EA wants the Crew team to work on Need for Speed or something. Again, there are many options. Maybe they don't want the IP, but the studio. There are many options. But it is clear, though, that Ubisoft is looking to just offset some of the things that are right now, to be fair, holding them back. Like having a Ubisoft Forward where, like the last Ubisoft Forward, everyone was tuning in for Shadows and Outlaws. But to get to those good parts, you had to watch 40 minutes of stuff that nobody cares about. So it just, they're really in an old school sort of mindset. If they just had a big Assassin's Creed live stream, people would be way more excited about Shadows and maybe the future of the series, instead of, damn, that show sucked. We had to watch through this Skull and Bones song and this Just Dance performance. I just wanted to see the Shadows gameplay. So basically, by having a lot of these other games, you're hurting your most valuable property. And that is sadly the reality of what they're doing. Also, their marketing departments have to be like, oh, we have an update for this game. And No, they just have to they should just be focusing on the things that actually matter, which are Rainbow Six and Assassin's Creed. Speaking of Rainbow Six, they of course have the Rainbow Six Siege X. So, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've been like watching videos and seeing reactions. People are actually pretty excited about it. It's launching in June. There's a beta going on right now, and the stream was pretty popular. So yeah, they got this going for them, and a lot is riding on Assassin's Creed. But again, with them already behind the scenes, looking into ways to make money, maybe spin out a company that will only focus on the big games, I do think that shows you that they already know Shadows won't be enough to let them do business as usual. But what that means for the people at Ubisoft that are not working on these franchises, I don't think much good. I really fear for them, and that really sucks, because it's mostly the leadership and bad management that got them into this situation, that made them reliant on one Assassin's Creed game, because they're constantly chasing trends and putting out games that nobody wants. So yeah, it will be fascinating. Of course, the Shadows reviews and sales will be very, very interesting to follow, but we will, I think, probably know in a week, like in April, how this is all shaking out, because that's when their financial year is over. That's when they know, okay, we got this money from Shadows. Is it like getting more sales every week, or is it already slowing down? That will be very important. It needs to have a tail. It needs to have the word of mouth, and we will have to wait and see if that will work out. Of course, let me know what you think in the comments. Subscribe and check out my previous video on Shadows by clicking on the screen. I will, of course, have my spoiler-free review and way more coverage up. So stay tuned for that. Goodbye.